Good evening from Washington. I'm Michael Steele in for Chris Hayes. There's a lot to get to tonight, including some really big developments in the many criminal investigations into Donald Trump. But I need to start with a question for today's Republican Party. What the hell's wrong with you?
What's up, everybody? Major retired Richard Ojeda here, and former chair of the Republican National Committee, Michael Steele, filled in for Chris Hayes on MSNBC on Friday and absolutely tore into the current Republican leadership. What the hell is wrong with you? Asked Steele. The question was point blank but spot on. He was talking about a House-approved field trip by MAGA Republicans to the D.C. jail to visit insurrectionists.
Today, House MAGA Republicans took an official party leadership-sanctioned field trip to visit the January 6th insurrectionists, who they call political prisoners.
This is just one step in, just exposing what's going on, making sure that we have the right information, and really listening to our constituents. We hear about the D.C. jail regularly when we go back home, and the American people are very concerned about some of the folks who are here. So we're listening to them, and we're here on their behalf.
Lauren Boebert looked like a kid in a bowling alley, and Marge the Trainwreck Green actually had her toes on the inside of her shoes this time. To have these two moronic jackaloons referring to the domestic terrorists as constituents is absolutely infuriating. And listening to that sawed-off little jackaloon Boebert say that Americans were concerned about the prisoners was beyond comprehension. The brightest moment of the morning came when Neanderthal Marge was talking about her newest cave paintings and someone started blowing a whistle.
Congresswoman Boebert, I hate to break it to you, but you don't have the right information if you think the American people want you to waste your energy on the violent insurrectionist mob. In fact, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know her, the ringleader of today's circus, heard that message loud and clear from one protester who obviously wasn't a fan of her stunt.
We have to work as hard as possible to defund the two-tiered injustice system, and we have to return freedom and due process rights to these pre-trial January 6th defendants. And as you can see, there's paid protesters here today, and they can whistle and say everything they want, but we will not be deterred. We do not care about them because they work for evil.
The incessant tweeting seemed to be bouncing around the inside of her empty skull like church bells ringing on a Sunday morning. You could see by her reaction that it bothered her. She tried to laugh it off and say that the person was a paid protester, but that shot got through, and it was epic. Marge trudged through like she had been heckled before and said that they can whistle all they want, but she would not be deterred. Listen to that completely. Marge needs to be reminded that the word is deterred, but either way, she is a turd.
But this whole sad pandering show of support for the insurrectionists comes from the top of the Republican Party. Just look at what House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was doing yesterday. He met with the mother of Ashley Babbitt, the insurrectionist who sadly lost her life while she was doing Donald Trump's warped bidding on January 6th.
Mr. Speaker, why are you having a meeting today with Ashley Babbitt's mother? Can you talk to us about that?
She requested a meeting.
And what do you plan to talk to her about?
She requested a meeting.
But that McCarthy is one smooth operator. Oh, yes, because while Trump was distracted by the little stunt with the insurrectionist and placated by McCarthy's meeting with Babbitt's mother, the speaker used a little sleight of hand to deliver a huge gift to Trump's chief 2024 rival, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Now, you see, I know a thing or two about Republican politics and how it works. And I know for a fact that some of the party's big donors, at least the ones who aren't fully Trumpified, are trying their best to help Ron DeSantis by elevating his legislative agenda into the unofficial party platform.
Michael Steele pointed out that all of this pandering to the January 6 rioters comes from the top, the true definition of Republican trickle-down theory. McCarthy had recently met with the mother of Ashley Babbitt, the rioter that was killed while she was carrying out Donald Trump's agenda. And while everyone was distracted by the prison stunt, Steele pushed the point that McCarthy had given Florida Governor Tiny D. DeSantis a huge gift by pushing through a national version of his parental rights bill. This is not anything about parental rights either. Don't be fooled by their deception. And if you want to look more into the Parents' Bill of Rights, or whatever nonsense the GOP is calling it, look at the ALEC website. The American Legislative Exchange Council has been pushing this agenda for years. They have deep pockets and have many Republican legislators on their payroll. Oh yeah, and Joe Manchin too. Michael Steele is right in asking that what the hell is wrong with current Republicans. They sure don't resemble anything of the Republican Party that we all grew up with. Folks, there is nothing American about MAGA, and that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.